All right, so here's a demo of the Nuravine cloud, which you can access just going to cloud.nuravine.com on any device. Um, what you'll see right here is your home screen. So this is going to show you all of the different systems that you have and the state that they're in. So the top two systems are in inactive, meaning they're not being used. Uh, then there's system veg, which is dosing. All the different sensor readings below will show you the real-time readings of those sensors. And where it says November 30th, 9:59, that is the last data that's been recorded. So that's how up to date these sensors are. Clicking on the device, you can see all the different sensors. You see the latest reading, you see the average, the low, and the high. And that's going to be based on your date range. So this is currently 1 day. If we look at 3 days, then you see that those average lows and highs will change. There's pH, EC, temperature, ORP, and dissolved oxygen. If you want to just see one of the sensors, you can double tap on it and you can see one. If you want to layer multiple sensor readings together, you can do that. And then you have your graph right here. So you can scroll through the graph. You can see all the different data. At the top is the sensors, and then the bottom are the pump activations. So at this time, Sunday, November 27th at 8, you can see all the different nutrients that were added to the system at that time. That's going to be for one dose. You can zoom in by just using two fingers and kind of spreading them out so that it's kind of like a pinch to zoom idea, like any other system, really. So yeah, you can see everything that's going on, and you can click the refresh to reset your view. And then, of course, you can add your other sensor readings on top of that. Right here are all the different pumps that are connected to the system. So the system can have as many pumps as you want. This has 12 pumps connected, but there's currently 6 pumps that are actually being used in this view. If we were to zoom out a bit, we may see more pumps, but not necessarily. All right, so here we see that there's 7 pumps that have been used in this 1 month range. And if you look at, say, the Armor SI, the left hand 436.6 milliliters, that's the total, that's the number of Armor SI that was used in that entire range. And then the 5,724.7 milliliters is the total milliliters of all the solutions that have been added combined. So that's why all of them have the same right-hand side. Here are the rules. So to create a rule, it's pretty simple. You click on Edit, and then you'll see your target. That's the goal that you're trying to reach. Your activation is going to be at what point will the system activate and turn on so it decides to dose. There's also max step. So basically, say your activation is 300, your target is 500. Max step will dose it in increments of 50 ppm. I'll show you in a minute that you can have different units. So whatever you're comfortable with, that's how you can view your EC units. So here's going to show you the list of all the different pumps. So when you're creating a rule, you just choose the pumps that you want as part of the rule, and then you choose the mils per gallon ratios. Really what matters is the ratio. It's not about the actual milliliters per gallon that will be added, because again, it's going for an EC. So as long as you have the ratios correct and the EC target, it will dose that ratio into that till it gets to that EC. And so one thing you'll probably want to do is if you're updating the rules at any time, all you really have to do is just basically change the target, change the pumps, and then the rule will be different. So you have that for EC. You also have pH up and pH down. Very similar, you just choose only one pump for pH up, and then you'll choose your target, your activation, and then your max step. Again, it's the same thing. It's going to go from once it reaches 6.3, or once it reaches 6.1, it's going to go 6.1 to 6.2, and then 6.2 to 6.3. So going up, you've got some settings. You click on that little settings gear, and it's going to show you all the information about your system. So you're going to enter the size, the mixing time. So that's going to help us understand how long it takes for, say we do a dose. Once we do the dose, how long does it take to get mixed up? So we can decide if we want to do another one. Of course, there's the different units. So you have all those different options for EC, and you have different options for temperature as well. Then there's also the dosing delay. And so basically what that will mean is that once the EC is triggered or pH is triggered, say, we're trying to activate the system at 5.8 EC. If the dosing delay is 5 minutes, we'll wait 5 minutes to ensure that it stays 5.8 in that time range. If it's still 5.8, then we are going to, or below, then we are going to start our dosing, and then that will take place until the system has reached its actual target. And so this is what could be handy if you have, say, like water coming into the system and you want to make sure that that you're getting a true reading of that represents what's actually going on with the system. There's also a backlight schedule. So say your system is within an area where there's plants, you may not want the system screen to be on all the time, so you can set a schedule for that. Also, start active is it's basically saying if there's a power outage and the system restarts, then it will start back into its active state. You won't need to reactivate it. So that's all that's really important for now. Again, we have more stuff on, like last time the pH was calibrated, hardware version, device ID, but we're not going to mess with any of that stuff for now. So we're going to get out of this. And that describes how the Nuravine app works on a mobile device.